It's time to relax, grab a drink, pull up a chair by the hearth, and have a seat in the Skald Circle to listen to the tale of the Two-Headed Weaver from India, as told by Casimir. Before we begin our story, we wanted to remind you that we release new tales for free every week. Our shorter tales release on Wednesdays, and our longer chapter stories release on every other Saturday. Find out where you can hear them on our website at thescaldcircle.com. And be certain to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. That way, you'll never miss out on one of our enchanting tales from around the world. And this is the tale of the Two-Headed Weaver from India. In a certain place there lived a weaver by the name of Mantharaka, which means the simpleton. One day while weaving cloth, the wooden pieces of his loom broke. He took an axe and set forth to find some wood. He found a large sisoo tree at the ocean shore and said aloud, "Now, this is a large tree. If I fell it, I will have wood enough for all my weaving tools." Having thus thought it through, he raised his axe and began cutting. However, a spirit lived in this tree, and he said, "Listen, this tree is my home, and it must be spared in any event, because I like it. Here where my body can be stroked by the cool breezes that blow in from the ocean's waves." The weaver said, "Then what am I to do? If I don't find a good tree, then my family will starve. You will have to go somewhere else. I'm going to cut it down." The spirit answered, "Listen, I am at your service. Ask whatever you would like, but spare this tree." The weaver said, "If that is what you want, then I will go home and ask my friend and my wife, and when I return, you will give me what I ask for." The spirit promised, and the weaver, beside himself with joy, returned home. Upon his arrival in his city, he saw his friend the barber and said, "Friend, I have gained control over the spirit. Tell me, what should I demand from him?" The barber said, "My dear friend, if that is so, then you should demand a kingdom. You could be a king and I could be your prime minister, and we two would first enjoy the pleasures of this world, and then those of the next one. For they say, a prince who piously gives to others achieves fame in this world, and through those good deeds he will arrive in heaven equal to the gods themselves." The weaver spoke, "Friend, be it so, but let us also ask my wife." The barber said, "One should never ask a woman for advice. They also say, a wise man gives woman food, clothing, jewelry, and above all the duties of marriage. But he never asks for their advice, and further, the house must perish where a woman, a gambler, or a child is listened to. And a man who will advance and be loved by worthy people as long as he does not secretly listen to women. Women think only of their own advantage and of their desires. Even if they love only their own son, still he will serve their wishes." The weaver spoke, "Even though this may be true, she nevertheless must be asked, for she is subservient to her husband." And said to her, "Dear one, today I have gained control over a spirit who will grant me one wish. Hence I come to ask for your advice. Tell me, what should I ask for? The barber thinks I should request a kingdom." She answered, "O son of your excellence, what do barbers understand? You should never do what they say. After all, it is stated, a reasonable person will no sooner take advice from dancers, singers, the low-born, barbers, or children than from beggars. Furthermore, a king's life is an unending procession of annoyances. He must constantly worry about friendships, animosities, wars, servants, defense alliances, duplicity. He never gets a moment's rest, because anyone who wants to rule must prepare his spirit for misfortune. The same container that is used for salve can also be used to pour out bad luck. Never envy the life of a king." The weaver said, "You are right, but what should I ask for?" She answered, "You can now work on only one piece of cloth at a time. That is barely enough to pay for the necessities. You should ask for another pair of arms and a second head so you can work on 2 pieces of cloth at once, one in front of you and one behind you. We can sell the one for the household necessities, and you can use the money from the second one for other things. You will thus gain the praise of your relatives, and you will make gains in both worlds." After hearing this, he spoke with joy. "Good, you faithful wife. You've spoken well, and I will do what you say. That is my decision." With that, he went to the spirit and let his will be known. "Listen, if you wish to fulfill my wish, then give me another pair of arms and another head." He had barely spoken when he was 2-headed and 4-armed. Rejoicing, he returned home, but the people thought he was a demon and beat him with sticks and stones till he fell over dead. And that is why I say, he who cannot think for himself and will not follow the advice of friends, he will push himself into misfortune, just like the weaver. And that is the tale of the 2-headed weaver from India. Thank you for listening to our story. If you enjoyed it, we recommend taking a look at our Patreon page, as noted in the description below. You can earn great rewards while also supporting us, to keep these stories alive for generations to come. Also, remember to subscribe to us on your podcast app, and leave us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed this story. A special thank you to Kat for their support this month. Without your contribution, we wouldn't be able to continue these stories, and we truly appreciate it. Visit theskullcircle.com to stay up to date with all of our current events, news, and much more. Not only that, but you can also visit our story archive of every tale we have ever told. It's sorted by origin and region for the convenience of your listening pleasure. Thank you for listening to our story.